360 is coming to you from these beautiful fields in the outskirts of Delhi. Now you'd be wondering, why are we in these fields? Well, the reason is this. This is the bajra plant. It comes from the family of millets. Millets, the coarse grains which have been neglected and shunned for so long. The Green Revolution just forgot about millets. They're nutritious. They're laden with good proteins. They can solve the problem of malnourishment. They're good for the environment. They're sustainable to grow. They help in the health of the soil. So why are we not then incorporating millets in our diets like we should, like we must? This week our conversation is about the journey of millets and what India can do to promote millets even further. I'm Sneha Murtani. "2023 is the International Year of Millets. All throughout this year, the Indian government has been pushing for the production and the promotion of millets, and the G20 summit held in Delhi was really no different. Here's how we've been pushing for these miracle grains which are abundantly grown in India.
Nudge people towards millets, it's a completely different thing to go.
Many of the dishes millet-based, in line with Narendra Modi government's big push for millet.
Millets menu out and out.
For all the G21 leaders, where the star ingredient was the Indian millet.
Let's just tell you how the superfood ruled the menus during the whole G20 summit in New Delhi this year. India served millet to world leaders at a gala dinner at the end of the first day of the G20 Leaders Summit in New Delhi. The dinner, hosted by the President Draupadi Murmu, involved 3 courses of vegetarian food that celebrated an autumn season of abundance with different kinds of millet. Among the delicacies were oxtail millet leaf crisps topped with yogurt and spiced chutney, Kerala red rice tossed with millet crisps and curry leaf, and a cardamom-scented barnyard millet pudding with fig. But that was not it. Each hotel hosting a stay to the delegates of G20 had their specific platters planned with millets, only showcasing the incredible flavors of India. Millets are being touted as a healthy alternative to wheat or rice, and the push for it is on. On the insistence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization named 2023 as the International Year of Millets.
मैं आज FAO को विशेष धन्यवाद देता हूं कि उसने वर्ष 2023 को इंटरनेशनल ईयर ऑफ मिलेट्स घोषित करके भारत के प्रस्ताव को पूरा समर्थन दिया है.
India made sure that the humble grain gets recognized by global guests. We have more to add in this episode, so let's dive into the world of mighty millets. With Simranjeet Kaur Renu in New Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Millets are called superfoods, and there is a reason why they are called superfoods. They are very nutritious, they are protein heavy. Also, they're very dense, they fill you up easily. Essentially, they can replace rice and wheat. They can solve the problem of malnourishment. Most importantly, these are sustainable crops to grow. They require very little water. They're also good for the health of the soil. Truly, these are miracle greens.
India is on a millet revival mission, and the intention is clear: to bring this powerhouse of nutrients back to our kitchens and beat the perception that these are bland, coarse grains and are a poor man's food. Did you know the staple food of ancient India was millet, not rice? What used to be bland, gluten-free whole grains are now finding their place back onto our plates, and health experts couldn't be more delighted. A low glycemic index makes them an ideal rice substitute, good for cholesterol, diabetes, and weight loss.
When we were expecting our daughter, I got gestational diabetes. And I managed the entire diabetes just by eating millet-based food. So we already knew that it was very, very nutritious and it was good for the farmers. It was very helpful in weight loss also. We knew that as well because, even then, ragi and bajra and jwar, at least dietitians were talking about it. This was 2013, 14, around that time. But when I ate it too and managed diabetes very easily, just by going on a millet-based diet and walking, like these two things I did, that's when we realized how powerful they are, and we realized that we needed to do something very systematically to bring this to the market. 60 to 70% of our country used to be eating millets and gluten-free foods. Wheat was a very small part of what we used to eat. So largely we would eat millets, and in the other coastal regions we would eat a lot of rice. The kind of rice also was very different, fibrous rice, not so polished. So gluten was not a large part of our diet as Indians, so we are not genetically wired to be eating so much gluten. And that is why there's a very strong case for increasing more gluten-free foods in our diet. And millets really fit the bill to the T because they are high fiber, they are nutritious, and they are gluten-free, and they have traditionally been part of our diets.
There are many types of millets: pearl millet, finger millets, proso millets, little millets, kodo millets, and barnyard millets. And all these grains have one thing in common: ample amounts of nutrition. And they're not bland in taste anymore. Millets are now being made into fluffy bread, gooey porridges, hot khichdis, idlis, dosas, and even delicious desserts, as the G20 summit clearly proved. What's more, millets are drought-resistant crops, and they can grow in adverse climatic conditions. They require less water to grow.
Regions that we are working in, that Rajiv and I work in some of these regions, and his NGO Shodh works with farmers from Andhra Pradesh and also in Bundelkhand in Uttar Pradesh. So these two regions that we are working in, which are dry, where farmers are already facing crop failures because of lack of rains, where the soil is not conducive to growing other things, where there is land that is going fallow because we are not able to grow things there. In those areas, millets are a godsend. Millets are also beneficial for farmers in the sense, in today's context, because of climate change, because of changing temperatures. So millets are the only crops that has been proven that with increase in temperature, the yield does not get impacted.
We are working with farmers in semi-arid and dry region. So what I suggest, where farmers are unable to get even one crop a year, so they can plan it during the Kharif season, and they are going to get good returns. So where water is available, I think millet can be additional crop. Where water is not available easily, there millet can work as a main crop.
Millets offer natural resistance to pests and require less fertilizers, which means they're great for soil health too. In New Delhi, Sneha Murdani for India Today.
One wonders why millets, which truly was our ancestral food, was forgotten by us. In this report, we trace the journey of millets. People consumed it about 75 or about 100 years ago in India, and this was an essential part of their kitchens. What really happened then? Why did then millets vanish from our kitchens? How was the Green Revolution really responsible for the humble millet being shunned?
For the longest time, millets were a crucial part of our diet until it went out of our lives. The Green Revolution, beginning in the 1960s, changed the landscape for agriculture in India and permeated into the national diet. Farmers rapidly adopted high-yielding wheat and rice varieties that required irrigation fertilizer, and other inputs. Reasons of dipping popularity of millets were many. Change in consumer taste preference, lack of traditional knowledge to prepare millets-based recipes, and low shelf life of millet grains. Government schemes mainstreamed wheat and rice, and so did we. A recent report by Niti Aayog speaks about how millets fell out of our plates. It spoke about weak value chain in production and processing of millets, lack of industrial demand for value-added millet products, discouraging farmers from cultivating millets, low profitability and low research and development to improve production, yield and value addition of millet products. Once considered a low-status food, recent recognition of climate resilience and healthy benefits from millets has prompted a millet revival. With Sneha Mordani in New Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, millets are not just ordinary bland, coarse grains that we think they are. In fact, they're widely used in a variety of food items nowadays. They're used in porridges, ragi cookies, even desserts, pasta, noodles. A variety of products are now found in the market made of millets. And that's the reason why our next report is going to focus solely on the business of millets in India.
Catching up with the new health fad, many big FMCG firms such as Nestle, Britannia and Hindustan Unilever are launching new millet-based products to stay abreast of competition in order to both not be left behind and to also capture a bigger share of the $2 billion global market, which is expected to grow to $14 billion in the next 5 years. Seeing the value of the burgeoning market, the industry is working overtime to bring products such as the obvious flour to the creative millet-based chocolate nutrition drink with breads, biscuits, oats, noodles, chips and cereals in the middle.
Millets can substitute everything what we are eating these days. We have tried millet kadhi as well. We have replaced besan with one of the millets, which is proso millet. We have created a lot of jobs, local jobs in and around that millet value chain. Many primary processors have come up and they are buying from farmers directly, and then they are selling it to the market.
A study by Yes Bank finds that India has the potential to export millet and millet-based value-added products worth $2 billion by 2030. That's the opportunity players don't want to miss. India is already ahead of most nations when it comes to millets production and produces 40% of the global output and 80% of Asia's production. What about the demand?
There is a growing demand perception in millets, because of which the millets rates have gone up. Right now the uptake is more novelty driven, uptake is more by people who are looking at healthier option. If we need to see mass wave of millet happening, we need to have uptake happening in the bottom of the pyramid.
Millets clearly have all it takes to make it the right choice as the food of the future. With Dhruv Yadav, Bureau Report, India Today.